Welcome back to another explainer from the Foundry by Forge College. I'm super excited to dive into today's topic. If you've been following along with our course on building dApps on Solana, you'll remember that in our previous lesson, we conquered applying compatibility assessment to make sure your dApp runs smoothly everywhere. But today we're taking a massive step forward into data-driven UI decisions. We're transitioning right into the actual nitty-gritty construction of A/B tests. We're moving away from just guessing what looks good and shifting toward making rigorous, data-backed engineering decisions. So grab your notebooks because we're about to turn your tracking data into absolute gold. All right, let's take a quick look at the schematics for today's build. We've got a 6-step agenda. The end of guessing, designing your experiment blueprint, assigning and routing traffic, tagging the data flow, validating your event stream, and finally, moving from blueprint to production. Let's hit the ground running. Starting off with Section 1, the end of guessing. Okay, think about it like this. Having raw tracking data without a controlled test is kind of like driving a sports car with the accelerator pinned to the floor, but you have absolutely no steering wheel. As this quote hits the nail on the head, measurement without controlled experiments leaves you guessing. Seriously, imagine you change a Stake Now button to a flashy new design, and conversions magically shoot up the next day. Can you honestly claim your UI design caused that? No way. Maybe the crypto market just pumped, right? Or maybe it was just a high traffic weekend. A controlled A/B test is the only way to separate your gut feeling from cold, hard, empirical evidence. Moving right along to Section 2, designing your experiment blueprint. So before you write even a single line of new UI code, you've got to lay out your blueprint. Take a look at these specs. You have to define a solid hypothesis first, like changing button copy to confirm increases click rate. And notice how we map that to just one primary metric, in this case, click_confirm_button per session. It is absolutely crucial that you prioritize just one main metric here. If you don't, you're going to dilute your statistical power into a confusing mess. And right here on our planning table, we also lock in our success threshold and our 50-50 traffic split. Now, you might be looking at that 8% success threshold from the blueprint and wondering what that's all about. Well, that represents your minimum detectable effect, or MDE for short. That's just a bit of statistical jargon for the target threshold you actually need to hit to prove your UI change moved the needle in a meaningful way. Because look, if your new button design only increases clicks by some microscopic fraction like 0.001%, it's honestly probably not worth the engineering headache to deploy it to everyone. Your MDE is simply the smallest lift you actually care about. All right, Section 3, assigning and routing traffic. With the blueprint drafted, it's time to actually build the pipes. We are literally splitting our user traffic down the middle into 2 distinct paths. Exactly 50% of your users will see the control. That's your current existing user interface. The other 50%? They get routed to the treatment, your shiny new Web3 design. By running these 2 versions at the exact same time, we completely neutralize all those crazy external variables. If Solana crashes or spikes, both groups experience it simultaneously. That is the real magic of a controlled split. But right here is where a lot of developers mess up. To do this properly, you absolutely need deterministic assignment. Now that sounds super complex, but it really just means we use a stable identifier, like hashing a user's ID, to assign them their variant. Why do we do this? Well, if you just flip a random coin on every single page load, a user might see a square button, hit refresh, and boom, suddenly it's a round button. They get total UI whiplash. Deterministic assignment ensures that once a user is in the treatment group, they stay there, keeping their experience stable and, more importantly, keeping your data perfectly clean. Okay, on to Section 4. Tagging the data flow. Routing traffic is great and all, but if we don't label the data flowing through those pipes, we're in trouble. Check out this tracking call. There's a vital addition here. You have to update your code so that every single analytic event carries a variant_ID. See how we're explicitly passing treatment in this payload? If you skip this step, your database is just going to fill up with a giant soup of clicks, and you'll have absolutely zero clue whether it was the control or the treatment group actually doing the clicking. So to keep things simple, think of this 3-step list as your core loop. Step 1, assign the user deterministically. Step 2, instrument your variant-aware events so everything is tagged. And Step 3, route the traffic and deploy. It's the fundamental engine that powers every good A/B test. Next up, Section 5, validating your event stream. Before we let this whole machine run wild in production, we desperately need a QA checkpoint. Run through this checklist in your staging environment first. Is your experiment plan actually committed to the repo? If you open 2 different browser sessions, is the user assignment actually persistent? Check your network tab. Do those events actually include the variant ID? And finally, do a sample export. Try to pull at least 200 events per variant just to make sure the pipes aren't leaking. Trust me, you do not want untagged data turning into a literal nightmare later on. And finally, Section 6, from blueprint to production. So the pipes are built, the data is tagged, you've passed your QA checks, and your event stream is flowing beautifully. But here's the ultimate question. What is that data actually telling you? How do you mathematically prove that your 8% lift is a guaranteed win and not just some random fluke on the blockchain? Well, I'm going to leave you hanging on that thought because that leads us perfectly into our next explainer on analyzing results and computing lift. If you want to master those advanced analytical techniques and keep building killer Web3 dApps, head on over to forge.college to learn more about this subject. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer from Forge College, and hey, happy testing.